Hello everyone, I'm Rashid, and today we'll identify certain potential topics from history and culture which is asked in UPSC preliminary examination to be conducted on 5th of June 2022. In history and culture, majority questions are asked from modern Indian history. So first we will take some important potential topics of modern India. In modern India, you need to take topics related to conquest of Bengal and conquest of Punjab by British East India Company, as these two provinces were very important, first from economic point of view and second from a strategic point of view. Apart from conquest of Bengal and Punjab, you need to go to the economic approach of British East India Company over India. From here, you are bound to get questions in your preliminary examination because the most important impact of British rule was felt on economic life of Indians. And under economic policy of British East India Company, you need to focus on land revenue settlements, that is the permanent settlement, the Rayotwari settlement, and the Mahalwari settlement and its consequences. You need to focus on drain of wealth from India to Britain, deindustrialization, commercialization of agriculture, rise of landless peasants in India, and frequent occurrence of famines in countryside. From these areas, you are bound to get questions in your preliminary examination. In modern Indian history, thereafter, you need to focus on all the legislations enacted by British for Indian administration. Starting from the Regulating Act of 1773, you need to focus on the Pitt's India Act of 1784, then the Charter Acts starting from 1793 till 1833. And after the mighty revolt of 1857, you need to focus on Government of India Act 1858, then Indian Councils Act starting from 1861 till 1909 or Morley-Montagu reforms. Thereafter, Government of India Act 1919 and Government of India Act 1935 needs to be done elaborately, whereby questions would be there that can be handled easily. Apart from British legislations, thereafter you need to focus on peasant and tribal uprisings in modern India. Indian response proved to be quite radical with respect to tribal uprisings, the most important being the Santhal rebellion and the Munda rebellion against British authority. Even though they were suppressed, but they left an important legacy over Indian masses. Apart from this, you need to focus on socio-religious reform movements of 19th and 20th century. In religious reform movements, you need to focus on Raja Ram Mohan Roy and Brahm Samaj, and later on Debendranath Tagore, Keshav Chandra Sen, and caste movements, that is the non-Brahmin movement, especially in southern part of India, led by Sri Narayan Guru, E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar, and finally by Dr. Ambedkar in the western part of India. We're coming to the national movement of India. Apart from focusing on mainstream movement, that is Swadeshi, non-cooperation, civil disobedience, and Quit India movement, you need to focus on participation of peasants, workers, women, students, and youth in the national movement at different points of time, because these days questions are mostly asked on peasant movement, working class movement, and participation of students and youth in the national movement. Clear? In between, the revolt of 1857 is important, but obviously it is more important from mains perspective. But go through revolt of 1857 as well with respect to centers of major rebellion. Apart from all these topics, you need to focus on the phase of 1940 to 47 when transfer of power was given to Indian hands. And in this phase, you need to focus on events in chronological order, starting with the Cripps Mission, then followed by the Cabinet Mission Plan, and then mutiny like Wren Mutiny, which are very important from examination perspective. So these are important areas in the last moment to be revised so as to avoid silly mistakes in examination. Apart from modern history, ancient and medieval India is also asked in preliminary examination that focuses more on cultural aspect. In ancient India, focus should be given to Indus Valley civilization, especially its features or characteristics like the town planning, growth and development of big buildings, artistic developments like the bronze dancing girl. All these needs to be focused because Indus Valley is known for its characteristic features. After Indus Valley, you need to focus on growth and development of language and literature starting with Rigved, and focus also on regional languages apart from Sanskrit in ancient India. At the same time, in ancient India, you need to focus deeply on two important heterodox sects, that is Buddhism and Jainism. With respect to Buddhism and Jainism, focus more on Buddhist and Jain sects, and language and literature in Pali and Prakrit, because questions are asked from these texts. Buddhism and Jainism needs to be done elaborately. Even art and architecture associated with Buddhism, that is stupas and other important monuments like Dilwara temples at Mount Abu in Rajasthan, associated with Jain religion. At the same time, in ancient India, very important development took place in southern part of India with respect to Sangam literature. It is a rich corpus of literature. Questions are asked. And at the same time, in southern part of India, temple architecture started with the Pallavas and Chalukyas. Look into temple architecture elaborately. The three styles being the Dravid style in southern part of India, the Vesar style in central part of India, and the Nagar style in the northern part of India. Temple architecture reached its zenith in South India under the Cholas, Raj I constructing the Brihadeshwar temple. The styles of Brihadeshwar temple must be read thoroughly. Apart from this, sculptural development like the statue of Nataraj needs to be done thoroughly, because questions are asked from such artistic growth and development. When we come to early medieval India, in early medieval India, go through the philosophers of early medieval India, especially Shankaracharya and Ramanuj, and their philosophy as well as their approach. In medieval India, we need to focus more on important sultans of Delhi Sultanate like Iltutmish and Balban, Alauddin Khalji and Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Alauddin Khalji is very important from preliminary point of view because he gave patronage to artistic developments, especially laid the basis of a town Siri in Delhi. Alauddin Khalji gave patronage to literary personalities like Amir Khusro. At the same time, he also contributed towards political expansion. Firoz Shah Tughlaq is important because of his civil engineering works. He laid the basis of several canals in India. At the same time, laid the basis of several towns in India like Firozabad, and at the same time, Haus Khas at Delhi, which is basically a pleasure resort. After Delhi Sultanate, you need to focus on regional kingdoms, especially the Vijayanagar kingdom, which was a very important center for cultural development. The ruler, Krishnadev Raya, contributed towards Telugu literature. He contributed towards temple architecture and provided efficient administration to the people of South India. After regional kingdoms, with the arrival of Mughals, you need to focus more on cultural developments because Mughals contributed significantly towards culture, especially paintings and architecture. Paintings under Jahangir reached zenith. Therefore, you need to understand all the features of painting under Jahangir. Architecture reached zenith under Shah Jahan. You need to understand all the features of architecture under Shah Jahan, especially the building material like red sandstone and white marble, and architecture designs as well. After the decline of Mughals, regional schools of painting like the Rajput schools of Bundi, Kishangarh needs to be understood, and regional architecture also needs to be understood, especially the Padmanabhapuram Palace in the region of Malabar in the southern part of India. So cultural aspects needs to be focused more with respect to ancient and medieval India, and in modern India, as we had discussed, certain topics like social religious reform movement, British legislations, and participation of women, youth, peasants and workers needs to be emphasized. In the last moment, you revise these topics from where you are bound to get questions so as to avoid silly mistakes, because silly mistakes will allow you to increase your score so as to sail through safely in the preliminary examination 2022. I wish you all the best and good luck for the upcoming preliminary examination on 5th of June 2022.